Have you ever taken a beautiful landscape photo, but the water was all murky and green? Well, today I'm going to be showing you how you can change that and make it beautiful, crystal clear blue water. And I'm going to start right now. Right guys, so the first thing you want to do is go ahead and choose a photo and open Lightroom Classic. And as you can see, we're going to be working on this amazing photo, which I got off of unsplash.com. So firstly, what we want to do is go to our temperature slider found in a basics panel and bring that over to the left-hand side. We want to bring it over by around -20. Then we're going to go to our exposure here and bring up our exposure ever so slightly as well. Around about half a stop seems to work in this particular photo. Then we're going to bring down those highlights. I'm going to bring up those shadows there. And what we can do is we can go to our texture, add a little bit of texture, a little bit of clarity, and a smidge amount of dehaze, but that is optional. Once we're finished with that, go to finish off the basics and drop down to HSL color. In HSL color, we want to affect the hue first. So we're going to go drop down to the aquas because that's what we want to be affecting in this photo. And we're going to bring those aquas over to the left-hand side. We're going to bring them over by around -5%. Then we're going to go to the blues here. I'm going to bring them over a little bit more. I'll add a bit more blue to the overall blues instead of them being black or green. So we're going to go to that, go to the blues here, and we're going to add in around -20, but it may change depending on your photo. Okay, so once we've done that, what we want to do is go over to the saturation. Now in the saturation, we want to affect the same color bands, aqua and blue. So we go to the aqua here, bring up the saturation in the aqua and bring up the saturation in the blue. You want to do more than you think because the next stage, we're going to be brightening the colors. And if you brighten colors, it reduces the overall saturation. So add in more than you think. We're going to go to our luminance now. Go to our aquas, I'm going to boost those up by 70%, a big change. And it's the same with the blues here. We'd increase those by 70% as well. And as you can see, that really does bring the overall exposure of the photo without affecting any other colors. And if you want, and you can, you go to here and I'm going to add in 45% to the purples. But in this particular photo, doesn't make a massive change. Now, this is optional, but what I recommend doing is adding in a mask. So what we're going to do is go to your mask tool here. We're going to drop down to linear gradient. I'm going to affect the top corner, so click, drag down, creating a 45-degree angle of a gradient, covering most of the photo. And all I'm going to do is simply bring up the exposure. Bring it up the exposure, something like so. And this again is optional. What I recommend doing is doing the opposite in the bottom left-hand corner. Clicking on the gradient, dropping down to linear gradient, clicking and dragging from the bottom corner this time. But this time, we're going to darken the exposure, creating this kind of contrast within the photo that really brings out those colors. And here is the photo that I made earlier. So here is the before and here is the after. And if this particular effect worked for you, make sure to write it down in the comments below.